Thank you for joining us today, folks. We have with us today, we have a very special guest with a great project. We got Owen Radcliff. He's a creator and producer to talk about his new project, Black Salt, that he's launching on Kickstarter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna dig into that. We're gonna dig into a few other things, especially, him as a creator himself. But let's kick that off. And Owen, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, music industry. I
Hmm.
I got gold and platinum plaques on the wall. I did Blade, Bullworth, Faking the Funk, Better Way to Die. Had
Okay.
my own record label.
Nice.
I grew up in Compton with, with,
Okay.
with Dr. Dre and all of them.
Nice.
Ohio to Columbus, Ohio, and I noticed they was really slow on the music scene, so I
Yeah.
started a label there,
Okay.
and I was the biggest concert promoter there too.
Okay.
So, it did pretty good there, and then a mentor of mine, he worked for Paramount Studios in LA, and
Hmm.
he would fly back and forth to see me in Columbus. And he saw my music videos and he said, man,
Hmm.
you should dabble into the film industry. I'll help you.
Yeah.
So I used to, go on the sets with him to a lot of the big movies and stuff like
Okay.
that. So I wanted to do a black hero because I got tired of every time they show us we either dope dealers or we not taking care of our kids.
Yeah, yeah. The stereotypical way where, we're portrayed
Yeah,
in multimedia.
yes, but I didn't want him to have like superpowers. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, I used to take martial arts when I was a kid. So,
Okay.
I brought in Shaolin Kung Fu.
Okay. All right. All
And
right.
that's kind of where, Black Salt came. Let me just Hey, Jonathan, I'm on an interview right now. I got to call you back. Yeah, I just turned that off. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Um, so I uh, I did it, so it was a 6 issue comic series, and I did four of the issues.
Hmm.
And then I said, you know what? I want to see how this look on screen.
Yeah. Okay.
So I shot a 30-minute proof of concept
Hmm.
and I entered it into the Urban Action Showcase in New York, sponsored by HBO, and I won
Hmm.
first prize. And one of the prizes was a licensing deal on
Okay.
HBO,
All right.
and the proof of concept blew up.
And that's that clip you sent me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the intro. That's the intro.
Now I see why it blew up
You
because
see,
it's it definitely grabs your attention.
you see, because I
I
wanted to
took a
kind of do
look
like
at
a
it.
Marvel, kind of like
Hmm.
I wanted to tie my comic book, because it came
Yeah.
from the comic book, and tie it into like the Marvel, when it come on, how
Yeah,
you
it
see it
looks
split.
great. It
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
very great.
yeah.
Now I see why you won.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. If you saw the whole 30 minute, then you would say,
Hmm.
you
I want to see the whole thing.
Okay, okay. So, so I had the licensing deal for 26
Hmm.
months,
Hmm.
and when it came off of HBO, some investors was talking to me about doing a feature.
Okay.
And then my mother wasn't feeling good, and I took her to the doctor, and she had cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So I had to put the project sat on the shelf. For, man, let me just go throw this thing out. Hey, kid, I'm on an interview. Can I call you back? Can I call you? Oh, okay. Sorry about that, man.
No, no worries.
I'm the COO of a metaverse company.
Okay.
Yeah, 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 like we did the first Floyd Mayweather fight in the metaverse
Oh,
2 years
nice.
ago. Yeah, so
Nice.
we did a Lamborghini metaverse, and so I'm kind of
Yeah.
doing
Okay.
okay. So sorry about that, man. I apologize.
No worries.
That's very rude. So the project sat on the shelf for the next 5 years while I became her caregiver, until
Yeah.
she passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So about a year and a half ago, I finally got my mind together. I was distraught and everything, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even know if I wanted to do it. So I said, you know what? I did so much development on this project because
Yeah.
I even have a video game demo that's on Steam.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I
You know,
definitely
so
want to check that out. I'm
yeah,
a
that
big gamer.
yeah, I sold a lot of merchandise, hats, and all of that. So I had this project, with all of this stuff. So I said, you know what? Let me try it one more time. So I took it off the shelf and I developed the mini feature into a feature.
Okay.
So the script and everything. So the feature is fully developed. So
Mm-hmm.
I said, you know what? I got to go back and finish that comic book now.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. So like I said, I did the first four issues. So I'm doing issue 5 and 6,
Okay.
and then I'm going to turn it into a graphic novel. We'll put all 6 issues together
Okay.
and turn it into a graphic novel.
Nice. Nice.
So this is where I am now. Just kind
Nice.
of
Nice.
bringing you up to
Nice. Yes, from what, like I said, from what I've seen, everything's great. Now, the first four issues, have you released them yet, or
I really didn't release them. I really didn't release them.
okay,
You
all
know,
right.
you know.
So with the new Kickstarter, are you gonna release them with the Kickstarter,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay?
That'll be the perks and stuff like that. I'm gonna get,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
even want to give that, I even got a link that they can get a issue 4. They can get it for free.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's in there, so they can see and
Mm-hmm.
everything like that. So trying to build up the backer list, email
Okay.
list.
Yeah. No,
You know,
absolutely. But yeah, no, everything that I've seen so far looks, especially, I'm probably gonna mention about 10 more times that video. That video, like so far, since I've been doing the podcast, it's fairly new. This is gonna be episode 3. Came
yeah.
across some great work, and each and every time I'm just blown away. Plus, and especially as a creator myself, it's just, it just shows me there's a lot more that I could be doing than what I'm doing now. And that's great. It's great to see everybody doing what they're doing and coming up and putting their own flair on things. And actually today's episode, I actually want to talk about the business side a little bit on
Okay.
being a
Okay.
creator because it takes a lot because once you just like, I've mentioned this before, once you decide to take your project and put it out there, you just became a business person. You started a
Well,
business.
in all fairness, I was a businessman first.
Exactly. And
You
I
see what I'm
wanted to
saying?
touch on that,
Yeah.
especially someone coming from the music industry,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
because I started doing this as, making music. That's how I started creating stories and putting them into into a format that people can consume in one way or the
Okay.
other.
Okay.
And I started with rapping back in the
Yep.
early
Yep. Yep.
2000s
Yep. 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 Rapping. Yep.
and I honed that into, I love it. I was good at it, but I need more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a rapper. I'm a creator. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
And
Okay.
I felt at a time, especially, as we get older, who wants to be rapping in their 40s and 50s, still trying to, get onto
Yeah.
that level. Me,
Right.
it
Right.
wasn't about it. It was more about what do I do next as far as storytelling and bringing my ideas to life. So, that's something I definitely want to touch on. How is that transition going from one aspect of the industry to another? Because it's all entertainment, whether
It's all entertainment.
music, movies. Entertainment is entertainment. And
Yes.
how did you find that? Was it an easy transition to navigate into, or was
Well,
it
you
like
know why it was
completely?
easy? Okay. So this is why it was easy. Okay. And the music industry taught me how to make a product from
Yeah.
start to finish. Like
Mm-hmm.
go in the studio, drop all the music, and then I put the DVD, put the at that time, my first one was a maxi single. Put that
Mm-hmm.
tape, put that together, and then I kind of created like a distribution system. So media play, I went into media play when I had got my first single done, and I said, "Hey, do you guys take consignment?"
Okay.
And they said, "No, we don't take consignment from locals." So what I did, I saw a friend of mine. I was watching BET, and I saw my friend's car lot, his commercial came on, and I said, "Man, I know that guy ain't got a lot of money. How did he get his commercial on BET?"
Yeah.
So I went and talked to him, and he sent me, so I went down to the cable company, man, and spots was like between $5 and $20 a spot.
Mhm.
So I bought, like the $5 spots, man. I bought like 50 of them,
Okay.
and I put available at Media Play and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
went back into Media Play and I showed them. They said, "Man, you purchased all of these spots already?" I showed them all the receipts. I said, "Yeah." So they let me put, my stuff in there, set up my little end cap, and they gave me a listening station and everything.
Nice.
And man, it blew up.
That's
You
what's
see what
up.
I'm saying? It blew up,
Yeah.
that song. The song was "Can't Stop Selling Yayo." And look, and the rapper, it was D Mad Clown. I dressed him up as a clown, and he came out of
Hmm.
a Jack in the Box. Can't
Okay.
stop selling yayo. Ain't nothing like a drop top Lexus that we pay for. And it blew up.
Nice. That's what's
So
up.
then I went to Best Buy. I went to all the other chain stores
Hmm.
and kind of did the same thing.
Hmm.
And then before you know it, they were letting me ship it to the warehouse, and they were shipping it to their stores.
Okay.
You see what I'm
Nice.
saying? So I kind of created my own little distribution system within that.
Nice.
You
Nice.
know,
Now, with that being like, since you did that to the music, have you attempted to try that or going to try to do something similar with comic books, like hitting up local retailers or even trying to get into, you know, big comic shops? If you
well,
know,
okay, so since I built a franchise, the
yeah,
video game, the
yeah,
mini feature, the film, the merchandising, I really was going to give away the comic book
okay,
as a lost leader.
mm-hmm,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So because it to me, there's just not a lot of money in the profit margin in comic books.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? So I was going to kind of use that as a lost leader,
yeah,
and now that I got the DVD and things has changed so much, since the '90s.
yeah,
I mean, the internet and everything. So I'm just seeing now. I'm working on a deal right now because, like I said, that proof of concept, I sold DVDs and did really well with selling the
okay,
DVDs. Yeah. So what I'm, with my metaverse business, we do business with some of the cell phones.
okay,
So I'm going to talk to them to see if I could sell that mini feature for like $1.49 or something on the cell phone.
okay,
You see what I'm saying? Because now if
yeah,
I could do that, because it was like 8 years since it came out. So since it's been, since my mother was sick,
yeah,
I could I'm re-releasing
okay,
that again because based on I'm turning the comic book into a graphic novel
mm-hmm,
and I'm working on the feature.
okay,
Because I did the behind the scenes.
mm-hmm,
I even did some music videos for it.
mm, okay.
Yeah, I even did some music
That's what's
videos.
up. Well,
Yeah,
if you ever need a rapper, just let
yeah,
me
okay,
know.
yeah.
I got bars.
And you know what's funny, man? Now you know what's funny. I'm going to do the soundtrack because, like I said, I worked on. Look, now I don't. I work with Wycliffe. I mean, I work with
Mhm.
all of the big names.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
And the first single I want to do Kendrick Lamar and RZA because
Okay.
RZA. I have to get the Wu
Oh
back in
yeah,
there. The
I'm
Shaolin
born and
part
raised
two.
in Brooklyn.
I know.
I
Yep.
love Santa. I've been a Wu-Tang. I could tell you the day I fell in love with Wu-Tang. I was young. I was hanging out at my friend's house. We were watching what's that show? Uh Radio Music Box, I think it was, with Ralph McDaniels back in the day. And I seen Method Man's video come up, METHOD Man, and I'm like,
Yes. Yes.
what is this?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then from then I was like, look, matter of fact, look,
Oh,
that's how
there it
much
is.
I
There's
love
the
Wu-Tang.
Wu.
Like I've been around so many celebrities and
Oh, I know you
you
have
know
you in New York.
out my life, but when it comes to Wu-Tang, I'm gonna admit I fangirl.
Oh
Forget
yeah.
about it. Like I'm comfortable around, celebrities and things like that.
Yeah.
But any Wu-Tang member, I'm a little fangirl around Wu-Tang because I don't know, their storytelling, the
Oh yeah.
ruggedness,
Oh yeah.
it is so and we use a term called gut of death. Like it's just so it's so natural and so real to the essence
Mhm.
of hip hop and New York,
Yep, you're right.
especially coming out of Staten Island where there had compared to, Brooklyn and the Bronx and Queens, you got Nas and Fat Joe and all these other boroughs that represent, that have huge representation in hip hop
Mhm.
compared to Staten Island. Staten
Okay.
Island is just you got a couple of besides Wu-Tang, a couple of here and there's, but compared to the whole New York City in total,
Yes.
So if to this day, I'm always a Wu-Tang fan.
And, I actually did a Black Salt song where I bought a verse, a RZA verse,
Ooh.
and I shot the music video and everything, and it's in there.
Mm,
Yeah, I did that.
I'm
So,
jealous. I'm
but yeah,
jealous.
man, I got to go back. Like I said, because because
Mhm.
like Kendrick Lamar grew up in Compton,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
then but could you see that a Kendrick Lamar and a RZA on a soundtrack?
Oh man, it's gotta be disgusting. That's
Yeah,
how
yeah,
nasty
yeah.
that would be because
Yes.
just the mind of Reza himself is just
Oh,
like the
genius.
man's a genius. The man is a storytelling genius. And then you add Kendrick with his wordplay and it I want to hear it. I want to
And then
I want to be there when you make
and
it.
then what I would do, I would do a soundtrack contest,
Mm,
and there would be 6 spots open for indies.
mm,
The rest of would be the big names,
yeah.
but I would have 6 spots, and I'm gonna charge $20 to send in your track,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll do a big like get with a Coke or a Pepsi, and that would be a
Yeah.
big promotion. And
Mm-hmm.
at that cost, that cheap ticket price to get a chance to go on the soundtrack,
Yeah.
and using TikTok and maybe say I get a Pepsi to sponsor or something like that,
Yeah.
and it'd be worldwide.
Yeah, especially when you got big names on it already on the
Right,
top,
right, right.
mixed with indies. And I feel,
Yes,
$20 price point, that's nothing
yes,
compared to the value in it,
yes.
especially as a independent artist, yeah, you're spending $20, but you may be on this soundtrack and you
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah,
Kendrick,
and
you
you'll get
got
paid.
Reza,
You'll get your royalties, and you'll get all of that.
and it's guaranteed listeners because
Yes.
of the headliners on it,
Yeah, and the
you know.
movie, and the movie, because I'm
Yeah.
going like after Michael B. Jordan or something. I'm going after
Okay.
some big names.
Nice,
You know what I'm
nice,
saying?
nice. So you swinging for the fences.
Yes, yes,
You
yes,
you you swinging for the fences.
yeah.
Nice.
Because I've been exposed and I've been on
Yeah.
big sets and stuff like that. I
Mhm.
didn't did the music, so
All right.
that's kind of what I'm trying to build right now.
All right.
You know?
Now, how does that experience, how does that translate now into this industry? Like as far as marketing, especially,
Okay.
like where do you where have you found success and, the opposite when it comes to marketing on social media? And what I mean by success, like as far as your engagement, like do you find, for example, maybe TikTok, you get more viewers and more
Yeah,
engagement
TikTok
compared
was
to,
good.
so what works for you?
Okay, okay. So TikTok was good.
Hmm.
Because I have those trailers. Like
Yeah.
I have like 3 or 4 trailers for Black Salt.
Uh-huh.
You saw one of them.
Yeah, I sure did.
Yeah, you see some of the other ones. So
Hmm.
TikTok work good if you have something visual,
Yeah,
like a video.
TikTok is good for mostly videos.
Yes, yes, yes. And then it's funny, man, because I just tried to do a campaign on Facebook and Instagram. And
Hmm.
matter of fact, I did it for 15 days, and it ends on Friday. And
Hmm.
just it's been doing, and see, I'm giving away the free comic book because I'm driving them to my landing page,
Yeah.
and get the free comic book. So
Okay.
so between that, and I'm trying to build up the follower page
Hmm.
on Kickstarter. Right now, man, 531 followers.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to, I'm trying to get to 1,000 if I can.
Hmm. Oh
You
yeah,
know,
I don't see that being well, what you're putting out so far, that should be light work.
but you know what I noticed, man? Okay, so when I did the proof of concept 10 years ago, I did an Indiegogo campaign.
Okay.
and I raised $40,000 in 3 days.
Mm.
I see between then and now, it got 4 times harder.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe,
Mhm.
man, it is. I was like, wow, it's
Yeah.
saturated. And just
Hmm.
like anything else, just like the rap
Hmm.
game,
Yeah. Mhm.
but
I
I just,
also think COVID may have had it handed up because COVID hit, everyone is locked in, locked away. So I feel like a lot more people had a lot more opportunity to go, you know what? I got time. I'm really let me work on this idea that I had. And a lot more creators came out of the woodwork during
so
COVID.
I'm finding it a little, I'm finding it a lot harder. Like I'm really working. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
finding. I was like, wow, man, this is hard.
Oh yeah.
Back
Hmm.
then it was easy. It was easier.
Hmm.
Let me say that nothing's easy,
Yeah.
but
Even from my experience, what we're in 2026, 10 years ago, 2017, it I felt like it was a lot easier to
wow,
push my comics. It was so much
yes,
easier, and I've said this before. I never really did the crowdfunding. I always went straight to straight to consumer. Like
okay,
that's the
okay,
hustle in me. I got that work.
okay.
Forget the middleman. Hey, let's go. Let's get it in. Try it. And
Mhm.
I've always found huge success in that. And now I'm like, you know what? I've been considering my next project going
You
the
should,
Kickstarter route,
you should,
just to
you
see.
should.
I
I mean,
mean,
get
I
that
don't
easy, get that free money.
yeah, and it's not because I like to have the project ready to go, pages done, everything done. I don't want to have to rely on the Kickstarter to
Yeah,
fund the project.
yeah, yeah,
That's my biggest concern. That's why, like, when I release my Kickstarter, I want everything ready to go so I can keep it low because everything's paid for.
yeah.
Mostly that's mostly just to print it at that point.
Yes, yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes. I got you.
Hmm.
I got you.
Hmm.
And also I think it's harder because the comic book industry is in shambles right now, man.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
with Diamond going to
oh
shit,
my,
and
oh
then
yeah, it's in
you know
shambles.
I feel like a lot of the majors, and I feel like this goes across all forms of media. I feel like the big players are just kind of recycling the same old, and
Right?
you'll get a couple of, hits here and there, but for these big machines to have all these resources compared to the little guy, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
like us.
They're
Yeah,
not. I feel like it now turns into more of what's my return on my investment opposed to let's make something good,
yes, yeah. You're
and I
right.
feel like across the entire spectrum, that's what we're getting. And I feel right now the indie scene on all platforms is where if you're coming for content and great stories and great visuals and indie independent creators are,
Right.
because I feel like we're putting in our heart and soul more into our craft than you know the big guys that are
Yeah, it's just
more
a business for
focused
them. It's just
on
a
a
business for them. Yeah,
yeah, they just more focused on their return on investment.
yeah,
We would like to make some money,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
at the very least break even, but I feel like a lot of us, we're satisfied with just getting it out there and getting the couple of views and the brand new fans and complete strangers just showing us love. Like, wow, this is
yeah.
a great product. You know,
Yes, yes.
hmm. I mean, that's just how I see things. Now, have you done any comic conventions since you started,
You,
or do you
you
plan
know what?
on doing
I did some back
ones?
then, but as I came back to this next rotation, I
Hmm.
haven't yet.
Okay.
Now I'm going to try to have everything set up where I do San Diego next year. You
Mm.
see what
So
I'm
you
saying?
really swinging for the fences.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
That's
trying to
big,
have
big, big dog.
everything set up to where
Okay.
you know,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I
Yeah, because
now,
that's big.
yeah, I haven't. And it's funny, man. What I'm trying to do is do like 50 podcasts.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've already like yours is number 12.
Okay. Well,
So,
thank you.
I'm just doing, I'm just going
Yeah.
online, like I
Yeah.
said,
It's all
see,
about getting it out, getting the
yeah,
word
yeah,
out there.
yes,
Hmm.
yes. So I'm
Hmm.
trying
Yeah,
to,
that's how you market, just get it
yes,
out there. Whether a podcast got 20 viewers or 2,000. That viewers are viewers. And right now
Yes.
in in this uh in this climate, I mean, I got a master's degree in entertainment business. So I
Oh,
kind
did
of have
you?
an yeah,
Oh,
so I kind of have an idea, as to how the entertainment industry works, and I feel like now it's more based on it's not as much as talent, it's more views. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
marketing.
How
Man, it's
many how
marketing. It's
many
marketing.
people are interacting with your product, whether it's a comic book or a song. Like, how many people
Mhm.
are sharing it? Like, sure, you've got 10,000 views, but two comments. Like,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know, I feel like they're just focusing more on views, and I feel like that's where we get a lot of the garbage from.
Yes. Yes.
Because it's one thing for people to look, but how are they interacting with it? Like, oh my God, this is great, or oh my God, this is horrible. Like any kind of interaction, and that's where I feel like we get a lot of garbage, especially in music.
Oh
The
man.
past couple of years, most of the artists have just been people who came up with some social media songs sounding, that don't really have that, and next thing you know, they flop and their lives go to crap, and because you sign. Perfect example. Look at the Island Boys. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
They came up with that video in the swimming pool or their
yes.
sauna, whatever it was. They're not rappers, and then you try to turn that into it does certain things don't translate into
Yeah.
to dollars. And now look, them kids are miserable. Like they're on drugs, losing their homes, and like I just feel like the indie way is the best way to go because
Yeah.
we can still keep our originality and
Yes.
in this game because
Yes.
once the big boys get a hold of something, it's are they gonna put that dedication you put into it?
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
9 out of 10 times, it's
And
not
you know
gonna
how I
happen that way.
found you? So I wrote me a list of 100 comic book Facebook groups.
Hmm.
And every morning I take, I do, ads. That's,
Yeah.
I got my little marketing where I do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And, when I was putting the ad on, on one of the groups, I saw you and I said, let me, because I'm also looking for podcasts.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I saw you and I started listening. I said, man, I like his show,
Thank you.
like
Thank you.
I like the background that you got there,
Hmm.
you
Thank
know,
you.
and so that's why I said, "Hey, let me hit him up." That's when I found you. So I was listening to it.
Hmm.
I think you said that was your second one.
Yeah. Hmm. And
Yep.
this is number three. And
Okay. Okay.
the main reason I even put this together, I like I said before, I'm a creator at heart.
Yes.
And I love networking. I love speaking to, I can speak all day to people talking about their craft and everything. I could go on and on for, I just love to see, I just love to engage in that kind of camaraderie,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's how you build, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how you build with people. And I was like, you know what? And also on another side where when I started and a lot of people kind of similar, there wasn't a lot of you know, kind of like I'm not gonna say a guide because I don't want this to be a guide on how to be an indie creator, but some
Mhm.
sort of resource where you could kind of listen and to other people's stories and kind of help build your foundation. So either you're gonna make your way into this field, or you're kind of already in here and don't know how to
Yeah.
navigate. Like,
Yeah.
just listen to what we got to say, man. Everyone
Yeah.
has been through something different,
Different. Yes.
but a lot of sometimes it's similar, it's the same but
Yeah.
different,
Yes.
and this
Yes.
could be and it's could be a very scary industry to navigate,
Yeah. Yeah.
entertainment in general. And, I think right now, the comic book industry is a little safe from the craziness compared to and music and movies. Forget about it.
Yeah.
That is a
I mean, look at the
madness.
puffy stuff. Look at the puffy stuff.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
it is a
I mean,
madness in
yeah.
itself,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I mean, and I guess that's where it comes from. Like, everyone just greed at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And
Yep. Yep.
power and greed, and you know, just trying to help people navigate their future. And even if like one or two people get get some good advice. That's
Mhm.
I did my job. You
You
know what I'm
did your
saying?
job. Yeah, yeah, I respect
And
that.
like I said, it's mostly to, showcase creators and their great new projects, and we learn a little about each other, and
Yes,
what we
yes,
got going on and where we're headed and where we came from, because that's,
yeah,
to me, that's the big part of the story.
yes.
I know you today, but where are you gonna be tomorrow, and where were you yesterday?
You're right.
Because
You're right.
that tells the
Absolutely.
whole story, just like storytelling. You just
Yes,
can't
yes,
throw a story out. I'm gonna need the before, today, and tomorrow part of the story. You know.
yes. No, you're right. You're absolutely right about that.
Now, in the future,
Uh-huh.
once your comics is out, and I know from what I get so far, I feel like like you said, you're considering giving away the comic because you're focusing more on the movie and the game. Would
Yes.
you ever try to get your books into retailers or anything like that, like on even on a local level?
Mm, really, that's not I mean, I'll never say never,
Mm-hmm.
but that really was never, like
Okay.
the comic book was always a lost leader for me
Mm-hmm.
because if I can give away free comics, you, you know,
Yeah.
and I got this movie coming out or this game, like,
Mm-hmm.
I want them to see, like if they can have it,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but
Absolutely.
I'm just saying that never say never. But like I said, everybody, like you said, got their
Mm-hmm.
own marketing strategy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But right now, like I said, I'm gonna try to re-release the DVD,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get a free comic if you pay the $1.49. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because
Absolutely. And
it'd be a
I would
digital
assume
comic.
it's a
Uh-huh.
Yep. I was
Yeah,
about to
it's a
say, I would
digital.
assume.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. See, it's a
Mm-hmm.
digital, and and even when I do the music, when they send in their track, they'll get a free digital comic, so
Yeah.
they can see the story right there.
Okay.
You
All
see,
right.
that's just my little marketing. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? That's
Mm-hmm.
just my little marketing. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now with the movie,
Mhm.
even as you start to market that, are you going the YouTube route, or are you gonna try to get it
Oh no, I'm
onto
doing theater.
platforms like Roku?
Oh no, I'm doing
Um,
theater. I'm doing
st-
theater.
Straight there. But after that, like, are you trying to pitch to, like, because I know you could uh you could get your stuff on Roku and things like that, and I feel like from the little bit of information that I've gathered, you know, like it's easier to get your stuff onto like the Roku platform compared to like Netflix or something like that. So like once you're done with your theatrical release, are you going
Yeah.
to try to get that streamed on one of the big name streaming platforms, or go through, YouTube only, or
Okay, okay, okay. Now, so this is the day, like when you're doing film distribution, it's called a daisy chain.
yeah,
Okay. So if you get in the theaters, you're going to automatically, your Netflix, all of them are going to already be lined up.
yeah, because you already
Yeah,
got that
yeah,
point where it's
yeah,
in
yeah,
theaters, and even
yeah,
that
yeah,
is a hard thing to do.
yeah, yeah. So you do the theater, then you do the Netflix and stuff, then it goes to TV.
Hmm.
You see what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
But like I said, I still have so much mileage on my mini feature. See,
yeah, okay,
a lot of people don't have a proof of concept already. Look, got an HBO stamp on it.
yeah.
You see what I'm
So
saying?
you're already way step
Yes,
ahead of the
yes,
game.
yes, yes. So I'm gonna use that kind of to help me move up.
Hmm.
Because it's like
Yeah,
HBO gave me my stamp
yeah.
already.
Clearly, they
You-
liked it enough where they're like,
Yeah,
you know what,
yeah. They
we
gave me a
would like
licensing
to.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So, even because that expired already, right? Because it's some
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it
But
came back to me.
even that, like the time may have expired, but that green light, that stamp of approval, that's a lifetime, because if they liked it then,
Yeah,
especially now where,
yeah. Because a lot of people haven't
because
seen it. A lot of people haven't
yeah,
seen it yet.
yeah,
They
especially
haven't seen it.
now because of the comic book movie boom with the Marvels and the DC and everybody. They're both, especially now, anime is
Oh yeah,
they're being picked up everywhere.
yeah,
Like it should be. it should be an easier pathway, especially already you've got the green light from HBO at one
Yes.
point, where if you was to go back, they're like,
See,
oh,
I am gonna go back. I am gonna go back.
let's go.
Yeah.
We liked
Yes.
it before. Oh, you've
Yes.
updated and made some.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's definitely get it in, especially now where, like I said, a lot of these animated, especially animated, IPs are getting picked up left and
Well, you
right.
know what's funny? I also have an animated series. It's called Black Salt: The Legend of New Shaolin.
Mm,
You see, and I
okay,
already have I have the pilot done, and I have 12 treatment episodes done already, and
okay.
I got some artwork already.
Okay, so now the
Yeah.
Black Salt, is that gonna be like a whole universe?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay, nice,
yes. It's a
nice.
universe.
Hmm.
Yes. See, the
Nice.
Legend of New Shaolin animated series is his sons.
Mm,
You
okay.
know, yeah.
Yeah, I'm digging
So,
this already.
uh,
I'm digging this already, especially, you know, as a person that created comic books, I created music and is working in comic books. I try to find a way to fuse the two,
yeah.
like right now, I really haven't talked about it much, but I am working on a huge comic book music
Oh,
project. It's a multi-sensory project, and
okay.
when I say multi-sensory, it's not like, oh, I got a comic book and I got a soundtrack. I got a comic book and a soundtrack that follows the story, that gives you a different perspective of the story. Because when you pick up a comic book, your vision is stimulated, your mind, all that. But now when you're hearing it, you
Okay.
could
So let me ask you
feel
this.
the story.
Okay. So are they talking or are they singing?
No, it's gonna be rapping. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be a hip hop soundtrack. But like I said, like it's
Oh,
gonna follow every every issue is gonna have two songs to
oh,
go with
that's
it.
sweet. Okay.
And
Okay. So
like,
it's kind of gonna be a soundtrack for the comic book.
yeah.
I like
And it, like I
that. I
said, it
like that.
follows the story. So, you could read the story, have a great read, but now you're listening to the story, but you're getting a different perspective of the story because now
Yeah.
you're listening to it as rap. It's not an audio book. You hear it, you're feeling it. You're feeling the
So
the
are you gonna do
emotions
all the
through the music.
rapping? Are you gonna bring guests, rappers in to
I don't want to do the rapping on it
okay.
because I feel like I just want someone else to handle. It's too much work
Yeah,
for
it
me
is. It is.
doing
You're trying
it.
to
and
draw
and although
and
I love my music. I'm gonna toot my own horn. I'm pretty damn good behind it with the bars, but this needs to be someone else. You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
I got
Like
that.
I'm producing the whole thing,
Okay.
I'm working with different producers. I'm producing the project myself, but I already have a main rapper as my homeboy cause I'm like, I need you to be the main MC because first
Okay.
of all, you're nasty. And
Yeah, yeah,
second, the way you flow captures the embodiment of the artist because it's a hip hop story. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like the whole hip hop is rooted in the entertainment industry as well. So it's
Yes.
gonna be a crazy,
Oh, that's gonna be
like I
yeah,
said,
that's gonna be
little
tight.
bit of everything, and I've
Yes.
been tweaking it out for the past couple years while I was in school, getting my master's degree with my professors and getting advice here and there, and learning how to, because I had this idea from the jump. How do I incorporate hip hop and music? Because you hear them all the time, one and one together. Look at the Spider-Man animated movie. It was so hip hop in there.
Mhm.
But I feel like hip hop and comic books were always just, they were flings, never a marriage. You know
I
what I'm
like
saying?
that, man. I
They
like
were
that.
they always, came together every once in a while, but never gave birth to something genuine and something new. And because I'm such a hip hop head.
Yeah.
I love hip hop.
I mean, I could tell, yeah, I could tell that,
Yeah, like there's a difference between being a rapper and liking rap music. I'm an MC and I love hip hop. I grew up in it. the
Yeah.
good, the bad, and the ugly,
Of
because
course.
that's,
Of course.
and hip hop went from a fad, rap, it went from a fad in the 90s. This will never last to it's everywhere you look. It's
Yeah.
ingrained in pop culture
It is.
everywhere. Hip
It
hop is a
is.
multi-billion-dollar industry. Now the music may not be as good as it used to, but it comes with all things that gain popularity. Eventually it's gonna lose its fizzle and it all becomes about the dollar.
Yeah, man, because you know what's sad, man? The 90s,
hmm
man,
that was that's like one of the peak eras in
man,
hip hop.
because I had an album, a compilation album called a Midwest Funk, and
hmm
I did, four of them, and I
hmm
and, and I had different artists. It's like a compilation, and then as
hmm
it started to grow, I started putting big names on there.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, I had Twister on one of them, man. I remember
Mm.
when I was in the studio, man, you talking about some fire. That dude
Oh, I
was,
bet it. Even to this day, Twister still got it, and he's what Twister got to be, if not in his 50s, touching his 50s.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Twister,
that man still got it.
Twister is like, it would be about 50, 55 right
Yeah.
now.
And
Yeah,
he's still an
yeah,
animal.
yeah,
You
yeah,
put that
yeah,
man behind a mic, he gonna
yeah,
tell you why he's an
yeah,
animal to this
yes,
day. you
yes,
know and
yeah.
I just feel like that's where, because I don't know if Nas and Mass Appeal put together a project where it was comic books. They did something for Marvel
I didn't
recently. It
know
came out
that.
last year. They
What?
put
I did
together,
not know that.
yeah, see, they put together comic book series in collaboration with Marvel and some music, but it's not the same. Like I said, it you if I feel like if you're gonna put them together, one must complement the other.
Yes.
Because if you're just listening to music, how do I know this is about the comic book? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like, I listen for the story. That's what I listen to. I love a album with a great story. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Just getting lost in the vibes and the beats and like, wow. Even for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, that could be a great story. But I feel like even on that, they kind of missed the mark. So I feel like there's still that opportunity to marry those two, and that's what I'm trying
I
to do.
like that, man. I think that's gonna be hot. I think that.
Like I said, I love hip hop is everything for me. Like everything I do is ingrained in hip hop for real. Like I don't know, that's just me. Even my marketing strategy is so hip hop. I'll be at conventions, and even my first convention, I'm a very animated person. You go to a convention, you see, a lot of the creators and artists, they sit behind the table, and a lot of they're quiet for the most part. Ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of them are just focusing on work,
Yeah,
working on the next project, and that's great. Me, I can't. I'm out and about, like, yo, hey, yo, check this out. Yo, you want to see something dope? Come here. Let me show you something. I bring
yeah,
that street hustler
yeah. I
mentality.
can tell. I can tell. I can tell.
Like I'm slanging comic books, like I'm slanging some raw. Like
Yep, yep, yep.
want to hear something good? Come on here, I got you. Yeah, on the low here. Like I don't know. Like I treat everything in that fashion, and I think a lot of people find that interesting, and I think that has worked for me, being out and about and trying to sell comic books, because like you said, it's harder to sell comic books now. And especially the cost of everything going up. It's
Woo.
As an indie creator, it's hard to sell your unknown comic book
Yeah,
for a lot of money, because it's
yeah.
like,
It is. It is.
I want me to spend $10. I don't know if I know you. I don't know if it's good. I
Yeah,
could get a Marvel comic for like $3 or $4. Why is yours so expensive?
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
because they're a multi-billion-dollar company,
Yep.
and you know they're printing millions of copies,
Yes.
and they're getting them for cheap. Meanwhile, we're printing a couple hundred at a
Yeah, a
time.
thousand or a thousand
Yeah,
even.
and
Still not.
even those numbers,
Yeah, yeah. You're
like,
not getting the cheap like the Marvel
yeah.
is. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, and especially printing costs. 10
Sky
years
high,
ago,
man. Sky
10
high.
years ago, I could get like a 24-page book done. I've got the lowest I got it done was for like two and a quarter.
See,
Now it's almost
see
$5.
that's a lot, man.
And then
That's a
so you got
lot.
to take that into consideration
Yes,
and making your price point like, damn, I gotta if I want to make any kind of profit, I'm gonna have to at least make it like $10. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
And I think that's where like the variant game may come into play because a lot of people will sell the same comic, different cover, and try to get 15, 20, 30, $40 out of you, for the
yeah,
same comic, which it works. It 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 does work. It's worked for me. It's worked for a couple of other creators I've seen, but it may not work for everybody. And
nah,
also, when you start getting into that variant game, that's when you got to start what sells, not just the art, but who's doing the artwork on that variant. So now you
yeah,
pumping out more money for a bigger
yep,
known
yeah,
cover
man, and
artist.
yeah, and you know that you know artists and all that that ain't cheap, man. You know.
Oh
Now, do you do
no.
your own art or do you have people?
Oh no, I used to be able to draw
Yeah, man.
decent graffiti back in the day, but
Yeah, yeah,
asking me to draw a character is
yeah,
not gonna happen. So
yeah.
I do the writing and I'll hire artists
Okay.
to work on it. I had a great artist that I was working with. Unfortunately, he passed away to some health issues.
Wow.
So kind of, especially like in the middle of my series. So I was
Wow.
like, damn, and I kind of put that on hold because I was like, man, he working with him, he knew what I wanted and it was
Yeah.
so easy, like I didn't even have to really explain nothing to him. He was just he knocked it out, knocked it out, knocked it out. But coming back into the game, I'm like, wow, things it's a lot more expensive than it was
And see,
even a
that's
few
why I was
years
saying
ago.
free by digital,
Oh yeah.
because now if I just had a comic book, see, when I first started this project, I
Hmm.
knew, to really try to make something, I couldn't just have just one thing.
Yeah,
I
you
had
need
to
to
have that
expand
whole,
on that.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, you see what I'm saying? So, like I
Hmm.
said, and the reason why I did that, just in case, say I got it to the big guys, they always try to screw you. So I said, okay, look, I'll give you the movie, but I have to keep my merchant. Like I
Yeah.
did that to give me, or I'm keeping my video game. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Hmm.
So that's why I created a franchise
Hmm. That's
because like
smart.
yeah, because
That's smart.
they're gonna screw you one way or
Hmm.
another. They're gonna
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely,
yeah
because that's what they do. They're gonna
yes
come, and then once they put out that final project, it's like this is not what I put together. You know what I'm saying? This is
yeah
not
yeah.
what I envisioned.
So I'm
But at
trying to
that
keep.
point,
Go ahead.
like, what can you do? They already
Yeah.
paid for it.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
that's the ugliness behind the entertainment industry. They'll take something beautiful, and for the most part, they're gonna screw it up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're
Uh,
right. You're right. You're absolutely right about that.
and
Yeah.
that's everywhere. How many artists went to a label with a demo, a great demo, and they're like, let's put this out. You go in and re-record the demo, redo it, repackage it, and it just don't have
Nope.
that
It
same
don't. It
umph
don't have
in it.
that
It
heart,
don't.
like you said. It don't have that
It
heart.
don't
You know
because
what I'm
once
saying?
they get their hands on it,
Yeah.
it's and I also feel like now in this era, aside from the major players on any industry providing, you know, all the resources and the money, because that's really what it comes down to. You could self distribution is a thing now. Like
Oh
you,
yeah.
you couldn't put out 15 years ago. It was hard. You couldn't put out your own music like that. You couldn't get it on Spotify and nothing like. You needed a record label to get you into Best Buy and the Targets and the mom and pop shops. Now that's unnecessary. You could movies, comics, music, everything you could self distribute now on your own. You
The
just
only thing
gotta
I don't like about the music, man, three cents a stream.
yeah,
I mean,
because
come
there's no
on,
money in
man.
music. There's no money in music.
Nothing.
There's no money unless
Now
you
look, I disagree with you when you say 15 years, 10 years ago. Because see, that's when I was getting them into my best spot. See, I did. And now
Mhm.
look, you gotta look at this. Because my stuff was on consignment, and like I said, I was getting $10 a CD. Now, that's a lot.
Yeah. Hmm.
You know, I
Yeah,
mean, that's some good money.
ain't nobody was getting 10 cents a
No,
suck. No way.
no, ten
No way.
dollars. I
That's
see.
what
I
I'm
see.
saying. Like
Yeah,
back
yeah,
then, you're
yeah.
getting 10
You couldn't
cents,
do it.
maybe a dollar if you're lucky,
Yeah,
and then everybody else ate off you, but you were
yeah,
doing it on your own.
yes.
That's
But I
why.
don't see how these artists, man, with these streamings, man, you got to do millions of streams just to something decent.
Even something minutely decent, you've got to.
Yes.
And that's why, like, I feel if you want to make money off of music, you've got to go for a license to get your music license from like I mean, for like movies and video games, a sync license is where you're
Yep.
gonna make your money now.
Yes.
You'll get a bigger, you'll get whatever they're asking, 50,000 for like 30 seconds of your song,
Yes.
like that's why, like, coming back into music, because I feel like I'll never give up music. I'll be an
Yeah.
80-year-old rapper if I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to,
Yeah. I heard that.
because I
I heard
love
that.
the craft.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I was working with my nephew. He's younger, and he's always been around and always wanted to try it. And I keep telling him, I'm like, if you think you're gonna make money off of rapping, it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna teach you about sync licensing and getting you into video games,
Yep. Yep.
into
Yep.
movies, because that's where the money is. Even
Yeah.
touring now, they're taking your tour money.
Well,
Back
yeah.
then, that was touring was
That was
mostly
all
your money.
yours.
That
That
was
was
your
all
money.
your
Now,
money.
now
Yeah.
they're even getting, because they're losing money. They
Yeah. Oh
know
man.
there's and
They're
the
losing
music
so much
business is
money right
nothing.
now. Oh man. The music industry is losing so much money,
Yeah,
man.
and now you got to compete with AI on top of that.
Ooh.
Yeah, so now you got to compete with those that are not talented, but they're good at writing prompts.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? They know how to type. They don't
Yep.
know how to
Yeah.
rap. They can't
Nope.
sing.
Nope.
They
Nope.
can't produce. They can't engineer. But they could type into a prompt and say, hey, make this song and make it sound like this person, and we'll make a lot of money. And
Yep. You're right.
unfortunately, since it's so new, even the music industry is trying to navigate the legalities of it. Look at
Yeah.
what Timbaland did. Timberland, I remember last year he was going live and he was like, I'm gonna look for an artist. Everybody submit your music, and I'm gonna sign somebody. He had his streams popping, everybody trying to get on till he just ended up signing. I don't know how you sign an AI artist. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he went with. He got so much backlash over it. Like, damn, why are we wasting our time trying to show you what we got, but you wind up just going the AI route anyway. Like, you're an asshole for that.
Well, look, and you was just you got to look at, because, like I said, when I had my label, I had a lot of rappers back then. So
Mhm.
you got to look at, with an AI rapper,
It's gonna do
you
what you
ain't got
say.
the headaches,
The headaches are gone
man.
because
The
the
headaches is,
attitude, the ego, and all that.
man.
But where's the creativity? You know what I'm saying? Where's the creativity? And that's why I feel the issue is when it comes, especially when it comes to AI. What's the creativity behind it? Like, sure, you got this great, amazing photo, but it took you a couple of seconds, Meanwhile, you hire an artist and they time into it,
Yes,
making sure every little line looks perfect, every
yeah,
shadow looks good, the image, making sure that they take your idea and bring it to how you want it, how you see it in your head,
yeah.
and I feel like the industry is just losing a lot
Oh, it
of
is,
itself,
man. It
you
is.
know, and that's the sad part, and because like I said, I love this, I love entertainment, I love the entertainment industry. It's just so shitty,
Yeah,
you know, and I feel like eventually comics is gonna head in that direction too,
yeah.
you
You're right,
know,
man. You're
like I
right.
feel like this is the last frontier
Yeah.
in in this kind of creative market space,
No, you're
you
right.
know, and that sucks, and I mean, what I feel like these majors, they should start looking at the indie scene if they looking to refresh something, because there's a lot of talented artists, writers, creators. There's so much
So
talent out
yes.
here, and you know I'm not gonna. There's you could call it competition, but every story is different,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there's no such thing as I can't read all the. You could read as many comics as you desire. You know what I'm
you're right,
saying? Like,
right,
but how
right.
long does it take you to sit down and read a comic book,
Yeah,
opposed to sitting down listen to a whole album
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
sitting down
yeah.
and watching a whole movie? Like, imagine sitting down and try to watch the whole Godfather series in one. That's a whole day. You know what I'm
You got
saying?
that
But
right.
you could sit down and read. Take a nice hour out of your day and get a couple comics in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I don't know. That's just the way I feel. I feel how that's gonna go. And
Yeah.
one thing I do want to ask you,
Uh-huh.
especially before we wrap up, especially with your experience coming from a whole different factor of entertainment. You came from music, and you taken all the success you've had and the path you've taken, and you're trying to transition it into now this form, this medium. What advice would you have to anyone coming up? Any, whether they want to start a project or they're looking, they're already in it and just looking for ways to navigate this field.
Well,
Like, what
one
advice do you
man,
have?
the artwork and stuff got to be tight, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't come with no hat. It's so much competition out there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't come with no, half,
Yeah.
half stuff.
No half stepping.
No, no, you can't. And it's funny, man, because what I'm trying to do as I navigate through this Kickstarter, I want to put of all the little, what I'm doing because I'm documenting everything.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm done, now I tell you what's interesting. So I had put something up on LinkedIn, because like I said, that's one thing
Yeah.
I do all of the, and this guy, he just got a hold of me yesterday, and he's in Dubai, and he's been in the comic book industry, like he's done things with Marvel and DC,
Mm-hmm.
and he's good with the crowdfunding. So he
Mm-hmm.
said he want to help me.
Okay.
To see what he does is he specializes in IPs. Like if you
Okay.
got video game, like if you put
Yeah.
yourself, that's what he does. He goes out and helps you get licensing deals, help you with
Okay.
movies and everything. Look, I just emailed him back before I got on the phone with you, and me and him have a meeting on Sunday.
Nice.
I mean, he liked my project so much. He said, "Man, I'm willing to put up some money to market it for you, help you." So
Nice.
we'll see. We'll see where. See, one thing I think is key, man, is okay. Take that pre-launch page. That pre-launch page on Kickstarter is so important,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I told myself because everybody, oh man, once you get to 100, then you go ahead and launch. I'm like, because see, I'm a marketing guy.
Yeah.
I was like, with just 100 people, when only 30% of the 100 is going to really,
Back you and invest.
back you.
Yeah.
So I told myself, I said, you know what? If I can get 500 to 1,000, see, it's also helping me from a marketing standpoint
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
when people see that, they say, "Damn," they want to work with me,
Yeah.
because that's so hard. So that's just something little right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That
No,
nobody even
absolutely.
really thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do that, man, one, I think you should do Kickstarter because it's crazy to fund all of this comic book stuff by yourself
Yeah, it's
versus the
expensive.
old days. You know,
It's more expensive
and
now
then
than
I'm
it
learning
was.
collaborations, like we can piggyback off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
See, and I think your show could be something like I always try to do something different. Like,
Yeah.
what about if you incorporate something like, okay, so you already had three of us. What about if you found a way to kind of we all work together and help with the numbers and all of
Mm-hmm.
that? Man, to me, if somebody can do that,
Mm-hmm.
that would bring a lot of power.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would love to be able to create something, something. I don't even know what that something is, but something to help better and bring together the indie community. Something like to help each other build off one another. I don't
Yes,
know what that something is to
yeah,
even give an example, but this is me figuring it out. And with the, like I said, with this podcast, it's not just about, having a creator come on and talk about their projects, but, you know, let's talk about a little bit of everything.
About
I want to
networking.
get
It's
to know you.
networking.
Let's talk
Yes.
about the business because the business is important. Let's talk about, your experiences in, conventions or anything. Like, build. Let's build and let's create something big, and who knows? Who knows what's ahead.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
that's one of my biggest goals is how do I take what's going on and collaborate with others to make something, make a platform.